239 people vanish without a trace. Imagine a plane. It takes off with 239 people aboard, continues its journey through the sky, then suddenly it vanishes without a trace. No black box, no fuselage, no meaningful explanation. So how does an entire plane vanish into thin air? Today we delve into the story of the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines MH370, one of the greatest mysteries in modern aviation history. March 8, 2014, Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. Morning hours. A Malaysia Airlines Boeing 777 is ready on the runway for flight MH370. Its destination is Beijing, the capital of China. There are 227 passengers and 12 crew members on board. Most are Chinese, some Malaysian, and there are also passengers from other countries. Weather conditions are excellent and no problems are apparent. The plane takes off without any problems at Ruhr 41. For the first half hour, everything is completely normal. The pilots have their routine conversations with the control tower, the passengers drink their coffee, and some prepare for bed. Everything seems like an ordinary night flight until 1:19. At that moment, the pilot is heard saying one last time to the tower, "Good night, Malaysia 370." And this is the last clear message MH370 sends to the world. A few minutes later, the aircraft's transponder, the system that transmits location information, is disabled. The plane disappears from the radar screen. Normally, this would be an emergency, a technical malfunction, or something similar. It also means missing. But the strange thing is, the plane didn't disappear completely. Military radar records show MH370 changing course and turning westward. This is in the exact opposite direction of its planned flight path. From that moment on, the world held its breath. Where was the plane going? Why was it changing course? What happened to the plane? As the hours ticked by, both the search and the anxiety grew. But no one could have predicted that this wouldn't just be a delay of a few hours or a simple emergency landing. Because MH370 was about to become one of history's greatest aviation mysteries, never to be found again. By the way, if you've watched this far and enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. Subscription doesn't cost anything, my friend. Smash that button. Search operation and emerging theories. News of MH370's disappearance quickly spread around the world. Malaysia, Vietnam, China, and many other countries were put on alert. Oceans, radar records, and satellite imagery were examined. The primary goal was to determine where the plane crashed or landed, but that wasn't easy. This didn't happen because the plane's exact location was unknown. In the first days, the search focused on the South China Sea. However, as the days passed, no trace was found. A surprising detail emerged when satellite data was examined. The plane remained airborne for approximately 7 hours after its disappearance. In other words, it had flown for much longer than we had anticipated. This information completely changed the direction of the search. The search now shifted to the southern Indian Ocean. This region was one of the most isolated and inaccessible places on Earth. Waves were high and weather conditions were harsh. Nevertheless, international teams scoured the sea for months. Ships, aircraft, and underwater robots were used, but despite the vast search area, no wreckage was found. Months later, a wing fragment was found off the coast of Réunion Island, France. This fragment was the first physical evidence definitively identified as MH370. In later years, several fragments were found in places like Mozambique, Tanzania, and Madagascar. However, these were not enough to determine the plane's exact location. The missing fuselage and black box further entrenched the mystery of the incident. It grew, and at this point, theories began to emerge. Some believe that MH370 crashed due to a technical malfunction. There might have been a fire on board, or the oxygen system might have failed. In that case, the pilots might have lost consciousness and the plane might have flown on autopilot until it ran out of fuel. Another theory is a deliberate diversion. Some experts believe that a pilot deliberately diverted the plane from its course. Why such a thing might have happened remains debatable. Was it a suicide attempt, a political message, or some other reason? There's no definitive answer. One of the most controversial claims is that the plane was landed and hidden in another country. Some have claimed it could have been an espionage operation. However, no concrete evidence has ever been found to support this theory. Officials, however, say the most likely scenario is that the plane crashed in the southern Indian Ocean. However, because we still lack a clear black box recording, this incident remains unsolved. Unanswered questions and the mystery behind the scenes. Today, the MH370 incident remains an unsolved mystery. Despite years passing, neither the complete wreckage, the black box, nor a clear scenario has emerged. This has transformed the incident from a mere plane crash into one of the greatest mysteries of the modern age. This disappearance raised numerous questions about aviation safety. With technology so advanced, the inability to find a trace of a plane lost in the sky has stunned both the public and experts worldwide. The question, can we really track every flight in real time, has become increasingly loud after this incident. MH370 is not just an air crash case. It is also a never-ending wait for hundreds of families. People who haven't heard from their loved ones have lived for years with hope and fear. Some still believe the plane will one day be found. Others believe the truth has long since faded into darkness. This incident has also led to major changes in the aviation world. Aircraft tracking systems, emergency protocols, and international cooperation processes have been reviewed. However, the question remains, what exactly happened to MH370? Like every great mystery, this file will continue to be plagued by theories, debates, and speculation. Perhaps one day the black box hidden deep in the Indian Ocean will be found, and everything will become clear. Perhaps we will never know. One thing is certain, MH370 left an indelible mark on aviation history, and that mark is etched in both the skies and human memory. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and like it. If you have any thoughts or theories about the incident, I'd appreciate it if you could share them in the comments. See you in another video. Take care and goodbye.